Hi, I am Dr. Sai Prasad Reddy. Welcome to Software Testing Tutorial. In this session, I am going to explain how to report the defect. As soon as the software test engineer finds the defect, he has to report the defect by using the defect reporting document. To whom he has to report the defect? To the development team. Yes or no? No. Now we are going to discuss how to report the defect by taking two examples. Here, my main intention or my main objective is to make you understand how to report the defect, how to write all the entities or all the elements in the defect reporting document. That is my main intention, that is my main objective. Just I have taken a common example, regularly using functionalities for your better understanding. Right? Just I have taken commonly and regularly using functionalities in the application so that you can understand in a better way. Right? This is the requirement. See, as we know very well, for each and every requirement, software test engineer has to design test condition. After then, he has to design the test case for each and every requirement. After designing completion of these test cases, all the test cases, then execution will come into picture. In this execution phase, the software test engineer has to execute all the test cases, right? While executing the test cases, they will find the defects. Clear? Now, just you don't think in depth of this requirement. Just for your better understanding, I have taken this simple and regularly used functionality. This is the requirement. See, what is the requirement in the application? The forget password link will be there in the login page. If any user has forgot this password, he has to reset that password. So if he wants to reset the password, the user should click on this forget password link in the login page. After clicking on that particular forget password link, immediately the user should receive a separate link to his mail ID, to his registered mail ID for resetting the password. This is the requirement given by the client. Clear? Now, this is one requirement. Now, for this requirement, I will explain how to write the defect. Now, here, see, yeah. Now, this is defect reporting document, serial number, defect ID. Here, for this, so D001-reset password. See, I have explained all the elements of this defect reporting document in my previous session. Right? So no need to explain again and again all the elements. Defect ID, the ID is D001-reset password, because a reset password is a functionality. I have mapped this functionality name to this defect ID D001. And what is the reference document here? The reference document is a test case. For the reset password functionality, the test case will be designed while executing this particular test case. Right? The software test engineer has found the defect. The same defect he is going to report now. So, TC, reference is a TC-reset password -01. That is test case, reset password 01. This is the test case ID. What is the name of the feature or functionality? Reset password is the name of the feature or functionality. Now, defect description. This is very, very, very important. The main objective, my main intention, my main objective is to make you understand how to report the defect in detailed way. Right? Now, while reporting the defect, the concerned software test engineer has to provide a defect description in step by step with 100% clarity, stating that how he found the defect. Clear? Now, excuse me. Now, so now here, first, access an application by using URL. That IP address will be provided. Just here I have taken the rough IP address, not correct IP address. Just rough IP address. Right? This is not the correct IP address. Just for your understanding, I have taken this IP address. Right? So, what this IP address? See, whenever the software test engineer starts the testing of an application, they have to access the application by using this IP address. Clear? Now, just 1 minute, I will take 2 minutes, couple of minutes to explain this point. Generally, for project, there will be 4 environments. One is the development environment, testing environment, pre-production environment, and the production environment. Right? This pre-production environment is also called as a staging. Fine. Now, in the development environment, so developers will have some server in their environment. What do you mean with environment? Environment is nothing but the combination of softwares and hardwares. Simple. Now, what is a testing environment? Software test engineers, excuse me. Software test engineers environment means combination of softwares and hardwares. That is a testing environment. The softwares and hardwares which are used for the testing purpose. Right? In this testing environment, they will have a separate test server. In this server, that build or the application or the project which has to be tested will be deployed. Software test engineers has to access that particular application which is deployed in that particular server. Then your manager will provide you the IP address of that particular server to access the application. Clear? By using this IP address, the software test engineers will access that application and they will start testing. Clear? Right. Now, so access an application by using URL, IP address also. Click on forget password link in the login page. Next, what is the next step? A mail is sent to the user with a link to reset the password. Click on the link in the email and provide a new password and confirmation password. Click on the set password. Notice that password is not getting updated. System is displaying an error message stating that password cannot be updated. This is the defect which the software test engineer has found. Like this, every concerned software test engineer has to write the defect description clearly. Clear? So this is how to write the defect description. So next, what is the next column? Defect reported by, just I have given one sample name, Satish. Satish is the software test engineer. He has found the defect and he is reporting the defect. On which date the defect is reported? 29/6/2022. What is the status of the defect? That is new, because whenever the software test engineer found the defect and whenever the software test engineer is reporting the defect, the default status of the defect is new. This is the severity. I have assigned severity 2 for this one. Now, up to this, the software test engineer has to fill up all these columns. Clear? Next, priority. This column priority has to be assigned by the concerned software developer who is going to fix this defect. I repeat, the priority level for any defect has to be assigned by the concerned software developer who is going to fix that defect, not by the software test engineer. Only severity level will be assigned by the software test engineer. Priority level will be assigned by the software developer. Just say, for example, just I am giving P2 as a severity level. Right? Next, assigned to. So, this column will be filled by developer's lead, to whom this defect is going to be assigned. I repeat, assigned to column in this particular defect reporting document, assigned to this column will be filled by development lead. He has to write the concerned software developer name to whom he is going to assign the defect. Clear? So, for example, Ram. Here, the name Ram is the developer's name. Their development lead has assigned this defect to this Ram developer for fixing the defect. Right? Fixed on. So this column will be filled by the Ram. That is, this column will be filled by the concerned developer on which date the developer has fixed or resolved or rectified the defect. Say, for example, 01, right, and 07, 2022. I am taking only the example, that's all. 01, 07, 2022. On this date, the concerned developer Ram has fixed this defect. What is this cycle? The first cycle, that is, this is the first iteration that they are doing testing on this particular application. Remarks, if any remarks, they will write the remarks. This is how the software test engineer has to fill the things. So now here see, this column, this column, this column, this column, this column, this column, and this column has to be, and this column has to be filled by the concerned software test engineer. Now here this column and this column has to be filled by concerned developer. This will be filled by developer's lead. This has to be filled by concerned software test engineer. Yes, see, like this. Clear? Right? Next, just a second example. Right? So as I told earlier, just I wanted to make you understand how to report the defect clearly. Right? You don't bother about this example. Just I have taken regularly and generally used example, functionality. Now, requirement. Now, see, for example, some mail is there. You may be having some mail accounts. Either it may be Yahoo Mail or Gmail or whatever it may be the mail. Right? So, after logging into this particular mail, into the mail, right? So, the system will display inbox page. Now you want to delete some particular mail record from your inbox. Mail record means the mail which you have received. That is actually it is called as a mail record, not mail. Right? Fine. Generally we will call it as a mail. Once the registered user successfully log into this mail, now that particular user should be able to delete any mail record as per his wish, any mail record from the inbox page. Then after deleting that particular mail record from in the inbox page, that mail record should not be displayed in the inbox page. This is the requirement. Clear? Now see here, for this how to write the defect. Just I found the defect. Software test engineer has found the defect. Right? Now I have written, we have to write as a software test engineers, you have to write the defect like this, defect description like this. So serial number 2, the same, serial number 2, this is a defect ID, D002-delete, because this delete is the name of the feature or functionality, and this is the reference document. So which is the reference document for this particular defect test case? Because while executing this particular test case, here I have mentioned the test case ID. While executing this particular test case, the concerned software test engineer has found the defect. This is the name of the feature or functionality. What is a feature? What is a functionality name? Delete. Now, see, this is the defect description. This is a defect description. Now, see what I have, how to write this defect description. Access an application by using URL so and so. As I told earlier, this is a rough, it is not exact one. This is just I have taken this IP address. This will not work, right? And then entered valid user ID. And here, whichever the user ID that you are entering, valid user ID that you are entering, you have to mention for the developer purpose. Because this defective description will be reviewed and this defective description will be read by the concerned developer for fixing. Because he has to understand how you got the defect. Yes or no? Based on this defective description only, the concerned developer will fix the defect, will rectify the defect. Right? Entered valid user ID. So you have to see, while writing this defective description, you have to be very careful. Why should we write the valid user ID? Because here the registered user only can delete that mail record from the inbox page. Unregistered user, he cannot log in. So that's why you have to clearly mention entered valid user ID. By using which user ID you found the defect? That Vishnu123. You have to provide that user ID also. Entered valid user ID in the user ID field. Entered valid password in the password field, Vishnu357567. You have to mention both the user ID and password by using, what is the main purpose? By using this user ID and the password, you got the defect. For other user ID and for other valid passwords, you may not get the defect. Only for this particular, maybe you may be getting a defect. That's why you have to mention the example, that is which you are using the user ID and password. Right? After entering, click on the login button. After login button, after successful login, system is displaying inbox page. Up to this, no problem. And in this inbox page, selected mail record by click on the radio button or checkbox, whichever it may be. Selected mail record by clicking on radio button, which has to be deleted from the inbox page. Right? So I wanted to delete a second mail record from the top. Then what I am supposed to do? I have to click on this particular radio button or the checkbox of the concerned mail record, which I wanted to delete. Okay, I have selected. And now after selecting that one, so clicked on the delete option in the inbox page. Now I have clicked on the delete option, and delete option will be there in the functionality will be there in the inbox page. I have clicked on that one. Now after clicking, what is happening? System is displaying an error message stating that selected mail record cannot be deleted. This is the defect because the selected mail record has to be deleted. But in this case, due to the bad coding by the developer, due to the poor coding by the developer, or due to misunderstanding of the functionality by the developer, or due to some mistake in the code by the developer, we got this defect. See, after selecting that particular mail record, click on the delete option in the inbox page. After clicking on the delete button, according to the client requirement, that the selected mail record has to be deleted from the inbox page. But here, in this case, the selected mail record cannot be deleted. It is showing the message. The selected mail record is not getting deleted. And also, the system is displaying an error message stating that selected mail record cannot be deleted. But this is against to the client requirement. The selected mail record has to be deleted. But here in this case, the selected mail record is not getting deleted. Right? So this is how you have to write defective description clearly, without any ambiguity. Ambiguity means confusion, without any confusion. While reading this defective description, the concerned software developer should not get any confusion. So while writing this defective description by the software test engineer, so it should be very clear and complete. There should not be any confusion. There should not be any ambiguity. Right? There should not be any unnecessary stories or steps. Right? So like this, the concerned software test engineer has to write the defective description very clearly. Now, who has found the defect? Defect reported by means name of the concerned software test engineer. Now I have found the defect, I have written my name. Some other found the defect, they will written the name. Right? Defect found on, reported on 29/6/2022. See? Defect reported on or defect report found on. Both are same. Okay? 29/06/2022. What is the status of the defect? So generally what will be the status? What are the different status of the defect? New, assigned, open, fixed, closed, reopen, duplicate, right? Hold or deferred, and rejected. Now, this Krishna, the software test engineer, has found the defect and reporting the defect. So now he has to assign the status as new. Right? Now, next is, what is the severity level? Severity. That is, need not to be fixed immediately. Maybe after 3 days or 4 days. They can fix, they can rectify this defect. Need not to be rectify the defect immediately. That is a severity, right? And what is the priority here? The concerned developer. The concerned developer has to fill this column. So, say, let's assume that I am the developer, I am filling P3. That means no urgency. Even after implementation also I can rectify this defect. Right? Assigned to whom this is assigned this defect. So this column has to be filled by the developer's lead to whom this defect he is going to assign. Right? Say for example Vasu. Right? And next, fixed on which date he has to fix. He will mention the date. Say example 01/07/2022. What is the cycle number? Cycle 1. Are there any remarks? No. Right? This is how you have to report the defects. Right? So here you don't think about these requirements, just examples. Just I have taken this example for our better understanding. Because these functionalities are our regularly used functionalities. That's why I have taken this example as for your better understanding. That is my intention. Here the main intention of this session, this video session is to make you understand how to write the defect reporting document while reporting the defect. That is the one. Clear? So, and this is a requirement file. So please subscribe my channel and share my videos to all the students and students groups those who are searching for the job in the IT industry. And like my sessions, please don't hesitate to raise your comments in the comment box. Clear? Thank you.